Hello friends, I'm coming to you again from Maui. It's been a hot minute over here come for a couple weeks with the family, and oh my gosh, I've totally unplugged, and let me give you permission sometimes to do the same too. I know so many of us are just charging and doing all the things, carrying all the hats, doing all the scheduling, all the things, and so just remember, as humans, we're not like electronics. We need to actually unplug to recharge. And I have, look at these views, I'm back. But I had a message, this will be pretty quick today, that's been on my heart. I've shared this before, but it happens, I come back to it around this time of year because at my kids' school, the younger kids raise caterpillars into butterflies. And I want to just share the metamorphosis, I have to think of catharsis of what happens to butterflies, because I believe it's so relevant to our own lives, and especially every 10 years, like I really believe, and I see it in my own personal life, it's happening with business right now, coming up on 10 years with VFit. Every 10 years, I believe we go through different kind of catharsis, which is really a cool opportunity to grow, to make a big change, to learn more about yourself, find more inner peace, power your purpose, all that kind of stuff. But you have to be aware, because what happens, and this is what I want to share, if you're in, I call it the butterfly effect. So a caterpillar goes into its cocoon, and what happens in there is something I didn't know until I think a year or so ago. I read this in the book Worthy, which is a fantastic book if you've not read that yet. A butterfly or a caterpillar goes into its cocoon. I have people walking by looking at me like I'm crazy. I am. If you're listening to this on the podcast, you can't see, but you can hear the ocean waves hopefully in the back. Squirrel, back to the story. So a caterpillar goes into its cocoon and turns into a chrysalis, right? It literally like covers itself into, if you've seen it in the cocoon, it makes a cocoon around itself, and it literally is its chrysalis. And what I didn't know, and this is where every 10 years, I believe this happens in our lives, our relationships, our careers, it liquefies. And this is the uncomfortable part. This is the part where I think a lot of people fight and they don't make a change, and they hold on to the past, or they hold on to something too long, their next level. Like I always talk about, your ceiling, once you get up there, becomes your new floor. And so you're going to have a different ceiling above you to climb up to. And your blessing in this life is you get to be a work in progress. You get to change things if they need to change. You get to grow. So this caterpillar literally liquefies. And if you've ever been in a season of big change in your life, like that's kind of what happens. It's super uncomfortable, right? You're not understanding it. You can't see what's going to happen on the other side. There's a lot of unknown, fear, uncertainty. And those are emotions that we as humans have a really hard time facing. So a lot of times, luckily this can't happen with the caterpillar, but we go back to old patterns or old past, and the change is too scary. It's too unknown. But this is the coolest part, and where we get to be the butterfly effect. You can literally, after the butterfly or the caterpillar liquefies, it then turns into a butterfly, but it's not yet ready to fly. So this is another stage. So if you get to this stage where you're like, okay, I'm ready to make a change, I'm here, it's going to be sticky. The butterfly is still covered in that liquid that it liquefied to. It became a butterfly, but it's still got a sticky coating on it. Oh, Letty, you love this one. This is the butterfly effect story. This has been on my heart. So the butterfly's ready to fly. You're ready to make a change. You're ready to, go after that dream you've had, change your job, but you're scared. You're kind of stuck. Own that for a little while. Be in that space, but don't go back. Don't go back to that liquid. Don't go back to that caterpillar, because this is in a space where you get to really ground, get to know yourself better. You get to grow in strength, because making change is challenging, and it is scary, and it is hard, and it's exciting too. Yes, Letty, you love the butterfly story. So when you are changing, just know there's that liquefaction process where you're kind of like lost, not sure, the unknown. And then there's the sticky, vulnerable part. The butterfly is ready to fly. It's ready to go off to the next phase, but it can't yet. It still has a little bit more growing to do. It still has a little bit more reshaping to do. And so maybe you're in that season as well. This is where a lot of times in the butterfly's life, they actually don't make it past that sticky, stuck point, because they get eaten by another animal or stuff. But that's not going to happen to you. I don't want to go into that. I just love that analogy of like there is a little stuck point too right before you're about to fly. And then once that butterfly takes off, that's why every time you see a butterfly, they really are such special, spiritual, amazing creatures, insects, or what are they called? But we all know every time you see a butterfly, there's a lot of them over here in Maui, maybe that's why I've been thinking about them. There's something very special about them. And think about all the hard they had to get through to be that butterfly. In your life, I believe this, and I know this is my own testimony and test, your hardest seasons make you a stronger, more beautiful butterfly. You have to go through it to grow through it. And so I just want to empower you if you're in a butterfly season where you're maybe becoming the liquid, or you're kind of stuck, or maybe you're flying. Maybe you've made these amazing changes and life has brought you just this amazing season of being able to fly like a butterfly. So wherever you are, I love this story. I find it super empowering. Fly, my butterflies, fly. And know that with growth, and there's no age limit on growth. I hate when people say, well, I'm too old to grow. No, you can grow and learn a new skill, learn a new language, travel, we'll do something new. If we're not changing, that's not good. But I love the butterfly story because it reminds us that growth is uncomfortable, it's sticky, it's vulnerable, but what's on the other side is so beautiful and so special. And so keep going, keep growing. Fly, my butterflies. And those of you watching this live, this will be quick. I just don't want you to miss out on the beauty of Maui. Hopefully you can hear the waves if you're listening on the podcast. But look at this, my friends. All right. I love you. I'm always rooting for us. I'm always, looking for ways to grow and get deeper and just live this life with more purpose and passion. And it sure has felt good to unplug, but sharing this message. And I hope you have a beautiful and blessed day, my friends. Bye.